Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on the Eastern Football Netball League Facebook live stream for the SportsCo Eastland 2K final. Dyson, welcome back, mate. It's been an exciting week in anticipation.
We're finally here.
Exactly.
It feels like an eternity, and it's obviously because we're not playing footy, but
yeah.
It certainly feels like a long time for these players who started their campaign many weeks ago.
Absolutely. 64 players entered the tournament, and we're down to just 2. That's Lachie McKernan of the Boronia Hawks Football Netball Club and Tim Laughlin from the Knox Falcons Football Netball Club. Both players have claims on being the People's Champion, Dice. What's your read on that?
I think McKernan's more self-proclaimed, whereas I think Tim's been garnering a little bit of support from the Knox fans, and some of it more positive than others. But I think he's certainly got the support of the people behind him. I think he would be the People's Champion at this point in time.
Absolutely. It's interesting though, and we'll see as this goes along. Of course, today the players are playing off for $500 for both their club and themselves, along with SportsCo Eastland vouchers and Eastland Kangaroo brand Sharons. At the moment, the 3rd v 4th playoff is going on at the moment. Lachie Peters got game 1 there, 77-68 over Caleb Parsons. And the guys, they're playing with a bit of freedom, knowing there's no pressure on Dice.
Yeah, it was actually pretty close up until the last couple of moments, and Peters just pulling away.
Absolutely.
So good winning game 1.
Well, anyway, our sideline reporter Josh Hudson is down there with both Lachie and Tim. Let's throw it down and see what the boys have to say ahead of game 1.
Thanks, Matt. Here with Lachie McKernan from Boronia, coming off a convincing victory over Lachie Peters last week. How's the preparation been over the past few days, mate?
It's been a bit sloppy, the preparation this week. I don't know how convincing the win was last week. We got just eked over the line. It was pretty good. But yeah, haven't really had much of a chance to have a game this week. I played my brother once today and I lost, so not great.
Not great. No, not great signs. That's all right. Plenty of time to get ready for it anyways. And the team you're using today, Tactics, let us in.
I'll be the Bucks and learn some tricks from Locke playing as Giannis last week, so probably try and use Giannis a bit and get some dunks in there, but maybe not quite as much as Locke did last week.
Absolutely. Giannis is a bit of a cheat code in this game, so best of luck. We'll get Tim Laughlin from the Knox Footy Club over. Thanks for that, Locke. Tim, the People's Champion. Not so self-proclaimed, maybe a little more self-proclaimed. We'll see what happens. Tactics, preparation, how's it all been this week, mate?
Yeah, well, as Locke said, he lost to his brother. I tried to play the Bucks in the CPU and lost to them normally, so yeah, feeling great coming in.
And did I hear you say before you had a little bit of a big night last night? A little under the weather, you can hear the croaky voice. Is that going to come into play at all?
Nah, it should be fine, I think. Play it off cool, we'll be right.
Absolutely. And the team, Tactics, what's going through your head? Do you think Locke's a bit of a walkover, or do you reckon, is he going to put up a fight?
No, I reckon we'll go to 3. Should be a good couple of games, but yeah, try and stop Giannis, see how we go there.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for that. A bit of insight from these two. Back to you in the studio, boys.
Thanks, JH, for that insightful stuff down there, mate. Hall of Fame reporter Josh Hudson down there with both boys. Dice, what did you take there from the 2 interviews?
She wasn't a carbs and an early night kind of preparation for either bloke. I think it's been a real rough week for, and particularly last 24 hours for both players. But one of the things I took away, Lachie McKernan really downplaying one game, sloppy win last week, just trying to play the underdog card nice and early.
It's interesting because Tim Laughlin last week, he provided a lot of banter, and I think he thrives off people getting involved in the conversation with him, whereas Lachie, dry wit, dry humour, is an experienced person. He's got life experience, perspective on everything, just plays it cool, and I think that's going to get in Timmy's head. I think McKernan's playing for the Mr. Freeze tag, the Iceman. I think we're going to tout him this evening. He's just playing it very cool. He came up against a very theatrical Lachie Peters last week and managed to just remain calm and get the victory. But I think he's just going to keep his calm. Absolutely. Now we've got some rumours that Tim Laughlin, Again, I hate to bring in spirit of the game, but as we mentioned, both boys had late evenings by the sounds of it. But Lachie managed to just, keep to himself. Timmy Laughlin got a few Knox boys to try and ruffle him up. By all reports, we wouldn't play them on air messages sent in Lachie McKernan's direction. What are your thoughts on that? Is that a sign that Lachie's already living in Tim's head rent-free?
Nothing like diving into the DMs, is there? I reckon McKernan just probably got a fair few come through from the Knox boys. Just a little bit of a shake-up, I suppose, before tonight's game.
Absolutely. Now we assume that the 3v4 game is going to continue on, or we might have wrapped that up by the looks of it. So they were going to keep going on that. But analysis-wise, Timmy Laughlin, high-scoring player. He's going with the Nets. Kyrie, KD, Anything else that's really jumping out at you there, Dice?
Probably the biggest thing, obviously we made players select their 3 final teams. They could only, it was use it and you're done. But Tim actually played with the Nets in the first 3 games. So he's used to them. He's played with them the whole way through. So he's actually balanced himself really well for the final and been able to use his favourite team when it matters. Flip side of the coin is that Lachie hasn't used the Bucks at all. He obviously got to see from the flip side against, but it'll be interesting. But one of the things that I really take away is that neither team have played off against either the Bucks or the Nets tonight. So
that is interesting.
Intriguing.
And it's interesting, obviously, like you said there, Lachie McKernan, probably Lachie Peters' dominance with Giannis last week, and the fact that Timmy Laughlin was sitting there shaking in his boots when a few Euro steps went through. Do you think that's played into the decision-making there?
I think we've seen through this whole tournament that it only takes James Harden or a LeBron or a Giannis to really set the difference, and it's certainly been an impact throughout this entire competition.
Absolutely. Other things though, like we said, Lachie wins the close games, doesn't he? Early on in the tournament, he had a couple of 2-point wins, and even last week against Lachie Peters, those games went right down to the wire. That's going to come in handy because, as we said, it's hard to split them. I don't see it being a runaway victory either way.
Yeah, drew a couple of late threes to finish off Lachie Peters and get into tonight's final. But his first 2 rounds, I think, were really tight affairs where he had to sort of tussle for the win. So, as I said last week, if it goes down to the wire, he's going to be very hard to beat.
And then absolutely, and just a few things about the boys, non-2K related. Obviously, Tim Laughlin, we saw in the 2K presser yesterday that, junior interleague may have been his high point in football.
Very strategic zoom placement from Tim Laughlin. Like, if you're going to put your camera anywhere, you're going to put it right in front of your rep jumper, aren't you?
Are you suggesting that jumper wasn't originally hung there?
No, I'm suggesting that he deliberately put his camera directly in front of where the jumper was positioned. It was well done.
So we had a look through Tim's career, didn't we? And a bit of a journeyman, it's fair to say. Fair Park, Scoresby and then Knox. 70 career goals, 20 senior games. He's played junior interleague. But obviously since then 2K's taken over from kicking the actual Sharon.
Yeah, certainly the importance of this year has been more than definitely focused on the 2K tournament. For
Absolutely.
Sure.
And then on the other side of it, a clean skin Lachie McKernan. Not much dirt we could find on him, of course. 2018 Premiership skipper. Is that something a little untrustworthy that there's nothing on this man?
It always makes me real nervous.
Exactly. It's like someone with 2 first names.
Yeah.
Anyway, at the moment, the 3rd v 4th game 2 is underway. We're going to get a bit of that action, and like we said, game 2 at the moment, these guys playing off for sheep stations, but it should be exciting. There you have it, 3rd and 4th is done and dusted. Caleb Parsons of the North Ringwood Junior Football Club has won through there, winning the 2-game series on aggregate by 10 points after winning the second game 66-47. Pretty open encounter there, Dice.
Yeah, pretty comfortably in the end. It got close. Lachie showed at times, I think he got it back to sort of a +4, +5, +6 and just couldn't quite get that finishing blow. A couple of turnovers in a row just sort of cost him late. But Caleb Parsons getting the job done for the third prize in the end. So he's taking himself home a $100 SportsCo voucher, also a $50 Eastland voucher plus the KB footy. So
absolutely,
pretty decent prize back to 3rd.
Yeah, pretty decent payout for just playing a bit of basketball on the PlayStation. So I think Josh Hudson, Hall of Fame reporter, is down there with 4th place Lachie Peters of the Blackburn Football Club.
Yes, here with Lachie Peters. Congratulations, mate. Awesome effort to make it this far. Started with 64. You've come 4th in the EFNL SportsCo Eastland 2K tournament. So here's your footy. Congratulations. And hopefully see you back in the next edition next year. Back to you, boys.
Didn't really give
short and sharp
Lachie any chance to say a few parting words. Josh just straight to the point. Had enough of this undercard game. He's got Caleb next. I'm sure Caleb will give us a little bit of something after winning the bronze medal.
Yes, here with Caleb. Caleb Parsons from the North Ringwood Junior Footy Club, 3rd place in the Eastland SportsCo 2K tournament. How do you feel, mate?
I'm happy to make it this far, but yeah, it's good to get third.
Absolutely unreal effort. Thanks very much, and we'll give you that one and your footy as well. Thanks very much, mate, and we'll hopefully see you back next year as well. Back to you, fellas.
There you go, that one a bit more harmonious there between the two boys. Well done to Caleb, quietly spoken, but got the job done today. Very tactical. Unlike these two guys, they're going to be straight into it, less timeouts, just good old-fashioned 2K.
Bit of blacktop about him, just everything a bit more street ball, less tactics and less plays running through, but she should be a very interesting encounter.
Absolutely. We've got the crowd in there. They're sitting on the wrong side, the crowd, but we are going to get them to move across as well. 2 from Boronia, 2 from Knox. The boys are sorting out who's going to be home first, but we will cross down back to JH. Rock, paper, scissors in the background, not going well.
I'll tell you what, it's very loud in here.
That's one of the great moments ever captured on camera.
Exactly. We're going to go down to JH, and he's going to give us his last-minute thoughts on this encounter.
Tell you what, there's a bit of atmosphere building here, boys. It's going to be a cracker. I had my money on Lachie McKernan, but having seen the crew, the Tim Laughlin's crew that's rolled in, I think the momentum might have shifted to his side. We've got a couple of strong Brooklyn Net supporters, so it's going to be a very interesting series. I'm going Tim Laughlin in 3 games, boys.
There we go, 3 games, Dice. Yourself, mate, I think it'll definitely go to 3, but I'm not so sure about how much the crowd's going to actually have in it.
Pretty stiff on the crowd mention from Josh Hudson on the Boronia boys that have been here since 12 o'clock. They actually got here before Lachie McKernan did. That's how keen they were to see their man get up.
Absolutely. So personally, I've just got Lachie last week. I think I tipped against him last time out, but he won me over with his steely resolve. Nothing fazed him. And Tim Laughlin's talking a big game, but I think upstairs it's all McKernan.
Are we going to 3?
I reckon we're going to 3, but I think I've got McKernan.
Yeah, I think McKernan for mine. Showed in copious games through this series that we can get it done when it's tight, and if it goes down to the wire, I expect our man to get up tonight.
Absolutely. Leave a comment below on who you think's going to win it and how many games. We're going to settle back into the commentary positions. Just the last minute thing. One thing I have noticed about the boys is the footwear. Tim Laughlin, Birkenstock Tim, has stayed true to form. He's wearing them. It might be get a bit chilly in here. Lachie McKernan, come prepared. Socks and shoes. Like to see it. We're going to go down courtside. We're going to go to the main game now. We'll be in the commentary chairs, and let's enjoy the action. Yes, not much there, unfortunately.
Never does.
No,
never ever does.
Although it was brilliant in The Last Dance. That'll be the first of many references to the popular Netflix documentary. And the Bucks have the tip there.
That's about the complete of your NBA knowledge, isn't it, Fon?
Pretty much. Isaiah Thomas not playing tonight, and the Bucks, Boronia, the Boronia boys up and about, and Timmy, I don't know. He's a big talker. Here we go.
So someone's been playing during the week, because this didn't come out last week.
Yeah.
So Kyrie's obviously going to be the key for Tim. And makes a mark first up, although that one doesn't sink.
Did you see the defence here from McKernan? Went man-to-man a lot last week, and it worked out for him in the end.
Another key there, Green early from Durant. 2-all. Nice tight affair. Both players off the mark, which is good to see. No whitewashes like we saw in the early rounds. There's a few big margins in the first couple of rounds of the SportsCo Eastland 2K tournament.
Absolutely. And a lot of clubs having multiple entrants, and they'd be disappointed not to be here. Norwood had 4 or 5 entrants, and I don't think they got through to any of the big stages. So, be interesting to see. I think the McKernan Peters showdown, the home advantage was non-existent, Dice, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out here.
Good start early.
Oh, the cracks appearing already.
Back to school for Tim Laughlin, I think. Early backcourt violation. Interesting. Lopez denied. Gets the ball back again. Now Giannis with a bit of room to move.
I'd like to see you pronounce that surname at some point, Dice,
Lopez
as well.
from outside. Antetokounmpo.
There you go. Nailed it. Tim's banter. Where do you think Tim's banter will go? Do you think it'll change depending on the scoreline, Dice, or do you think it'll be consistent throughout?
He showed that he's a bit of a loose cannon. So potentially, if things go against him early, it could get quite negative quite quickly.
Absolutely.
He looks to be more of a controller thrower than what Lachie McKernan does. I just realised that we're sitting right next to him, so
absolutely
probably not a smart move.
No.
Your support crew didn't really help that, Tim.
If you are one of those who messaged Lachie McKernan last night, get in touch via the comments below.
We're told there was also a video message left as well.
Yeah, and as mentioned earlier in the broadcast, not
appropriate,
not PG.
Yeah.
So 2.5 minutes into the first here, Bucks by 4. Quite a nervous, anxious start, isn't it, Dice?
Sure, both players just finding each other out. As we said, they haven't played against either side throughout the entire tournament. Obviously, Tim's played plenty with the Nets through the course of the tournament. Interesting to see how Lachie goes. He's started off well. This is his first game with the Bucks. Really got to find his niche, particularly with the starting 5.
It is an interesting choice to just go with the side you haven't played with before, as Giannis from outside.
From outside.
So 11-6 here is the timeout's taken. You know,
don't have to worry about getting the sponsors off because
No.
the boys are going to take care of that for us tonight.
So People's Champion played one reserves game for Werribee in the VFL. So he does have a career to fall back on if this goes poorly tonight.
In the now defunct development
Yes.
league.
Yeah. Surprised Blackburn haven't picked him up. They love a good VFL reserves player. Am I allowed to say that?
You just did.
I have now.
DeAndre Jordan's about 95, isn't he? So Tim trying to find a bit from the outside. It's not quite happening yet.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh, and one. And one. And the
Almost
Boronia
worked.
faithful.
Almost worked.
So, as we mentioned, Boronia boys have been here for a while, putting out the red carpet for their man, club leader. And so far he's leading well by 8 points.
Dinwiddie's been big early. Prince from way outside. Bledsoe left all by himself. Can't finish, though.
Dinwiddie, that's a great name.
It's quality.
Just needs a steadier, doesn't he, here, Timmy?
They say it in any sport, but the stat lines in these games have been very telling. The desperation of a low 3-point percentage.
Exactly. It's great defence from Lachie. He's, as we said, experience was going to be a big player, Dice. He's played in big games before on the footy field and now on the virtual basketball court. It's coming to the fore.
It's just cool, calm and collected at the moment. And we'll go into quarter time with a lead. Just going to try and put one more on the board.
This'll
Middleton
hurt.
all by himself.
Oh, no.
That's a big one. 8 seconds left in the term.
Could we see a bit of Nick Kyrgios here from Tim Laughlin and just let this first game just go?
Dinwiddie.
Oh, well, 17-6 at the break, Dice. What did you take out of that?
I honestly thought that McKernan would be the slow starter, but he certainly got off to a couple of balls from outside that have sunk, and 17-6 up at quarter time. It's obvious to say, but a very, very good start.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, he mentioned pre-game that he wasn't actually that comfortable playing with a few of the Bucks players, but he has not shown that at all. A dominant first term. But let's hope that Tim can settle, because we have seen his scoring power is unrivalled throughout the tournament. Oh.
That's what we like to see from the boys. A little bit of banter going on. Eventually gets the ball up 10. Can't quite get it to sink, though.
Shot clock at 10. 6, 5. Needs to put one up, and he has. Well done.
That's unfortunate. That was a good defensive set there from McKernan.
Absolutely. As we mentioned, Tim has league legend status after last week hitting a three with Ben Simmons. He'll be accepting his award at the next available time when restrictions allow.
Other players had to play Eastern Football League footy for decades.
Yeah, and win multiple
best
and
fairest. And Tim just managed to land a cheeky 3 in the semi-finals last week.
So nice little... He's opened up the second term a bit better here. And the crowd are getting involved. I like to see that. And I think they'll warm into it as the players did last week, Dice. The first game was a lot quieter than the third.
Yeah, we expect them to be bringing the house down if this one goes to 3 for sure. I know the Boronia boys got around the last couple of threes that Lachie McKernan
Exactly.
set late. Oh,
here we go. Can the momentum swing around here? I think that's a 5-point little break here from the Nets.
And the steal. Finish this. This is a fantastic start to this second term.
Settling into it. Kyrie. Shot clock at 5. Good defence. He's defended well so far, McKernan, despite struggling to score in this second term.
Bit of the Jackie Moons about Tim when he goes forward. No, not that. And as I say, he gets a cheeky one out the back.
There you go. That's
able to finish it.
That's 8 points to none in this second term from the Nets. Needs a steadier, does McKernan. Goes to his main man, Giannis.
Lopez from outside. Well,
he needed it.
Was that an auto timeout, Tim? Yeah. Just wanted to see if you a little bit nervous. That's a couple from Lopez early. Big man getting on outside. Oh, didn't even intend to, but Middleton got the steal away. Bledsoe to finish.
Back out to
steadier from Milwaukee.
So after all that effort, only closed the gap by 3 so far have the Nets.
Tim showing that he knows how to use the skill stick.
Giannis just showboating there, showing us his vertical. Oh. This will hurt.
This could be ugly. He's got to finish the job though. Can't nail the 3. And the Nets to reply. Hold up there.
Interesting choice.
Lock. And a long 2. On fire so far in this second term.
Just the opening the Nets needed. Durant. If he can make this basket count, back to 4 points, and it is. Well. He's settling in.
It's the understatement of the evening.
Absolutely. Needs this a steadier.
Oh, that's a good finish.
Bruce McAvaney would say that the Bucks needed the next one, and they got it.
7-point ball game. In the late stage of the second. Good pressure.
Oh, and it's paid off.
And that's worked out very well.
Lopez, who was so good from long range before, handing off. And it's opened up.
Oh.
Short jumper. And he'll be very thankful that fell in.
Bledsoe clear from the paint. Decided to shoot from the free throw line. And a cheeky one back brings it back to a 7-point lead.
Laughlin will be happy with this. I think if you can go into half-time 7 or less down, be quite the impressive second term. As we know, and leads can change very quickly. He'll be happy with 5 as well. Interesting.
Didn't pay off. Tried to play it safe. Get it as far away from Giannis as possible.
Great D.
Nets ball with 4 seconds remaining in the half.
Giannis.
Oh, this one will hurt. This one will really hurt.
Well, back out to 9.
Nailed it with a third of a second to go and back out to a 9-point lead.
It's more or less a
half-time.
4-point play, isn't it, Dice? Because the Nets look certain to bring it back to 5 there. Chose to play it safe with the taking away from Giannis for the jumper.
It's going to be a very long night if you keep pulling out cliches like that.
Exactly.
The one that they don't get and the one that we get.
Exactly.
All those?
That's the 4 points.
Yeah.
That's how I've got to 4. The crowd.
Oh, is that why they call it a 12-point play in football?
I guess so.
The
Yeah.
one that
Yeah.
they don't get and the one that we do.
With 6, exactly.
Vice versa.
So, I don't know what you read here.
That's right, boys. That's right, boys. We didn't want to look at the stats at all.
No.
That's cool. You're very much in the hands of the players here.
So, 9 points. For all his effort there, Laughlin only won that second term by 2 points.
Got a bit of space there and nicely finished. And again, the first 2 of the quarter. Middleton left all alone and can't finish. It's there to clean up. Oh, and that's big from Durant over Antetokounmpo. The first 4 points of the quarter going the way of the Nets.
Split's pretty even in the comments on the stream here, Dice.
What they reckon I'm better or you are?
No. Three supporting Lachie vocally, and 3 going for Tim.
So, it was the first sub of the game I think Milwaukee had made. So a full second string on the court at the moment. for
Hasn't
Lachie
stopped them,
McKernan.
though. Hasn't stopped them.
So back to a 6-point ball game. Kyrie to make it 5. I have a feeling McKernan not happy with his options from outside. A lot of passing and not a lot of confidence going on. 3 seconds.
Airball. Lachie McKernan did mention that his brother had actually said that neither he or Tim were that good. And that may be more evidence to that theory. Nets have got to make the most of this, Dice, don't they?
You've got a full second string lineup on the court.
Yeah. And he has done.
Great finish there from Kyrie. Back to 3.
After being 11 points at the first break. Here we go.
Can't finish on the last couple of
a chance to level it up.
attacks.
Will he take it? No.
Allen, Dinwiddie.
To level it up.
Oh,
and he has.
way outside.
Laughlin,
That's huge.
he's fired up now. First real signs of emotion from the big fella. Apologies to all those out there listening in. Obviously a sore point there, Tim. Isolation not being good for the cheese grater.
It's not like we chose the early time slot to be family friendly or anything.
No. All of a sudden the Nets are in front, Dice, with all this, light jabbing at Tim's weight. And he's hit the lead, 15 points to just 3 in this third term.
Giannis on very quickly. Just to try and stem the tide. Remember, we've got $500 on the line for the winner.
And for their club as well.
500 going to the club as well, which we're not able to play footy and not able to get in the room is going to be very handy.
Well, and of course, Dice, there's grants coming out from the government limited to 1,000 per club, and the EFNL matching half of that just for a game of 2K. So you could say we're pretty generous, and I will.
You just did?
Mm-hmm. Important.
Very much required there. So there you go. Both sides taking 28 shots for the game. Nets sitting at 57 before that shot.
Has ebbed and flowed nicely since quarter time this game.
Good finish out the back from G.
Oh!
A great block. And now a chance to rebound. Tim wasn't backing Dinwiddie against Antetokounmpo.
Oh. Be interesting to see what JH says about the crowd involvement as well.
He's right there in the thick
He's
of it.
immersed in them. We'll catch up with him post-game.
Oh, greened it nicely. That. Oh, long 2.
Can you challenge that call? Is that a...
Kyrie, plenty of space.
Oh.
Nice work.
Ilyasova
Beautifully.
had a good minute here, the big man.
And now we get one out the back. Ooh.
Back out to 1 for the Bucks.
$40 seconds. Nice. Just starting to find a groove on shot here, Tim.
Just a comment dropping in the Facebook live stream. Woo, Timmy. Mummy loves you.
Say 1 second separating the game clock and the shot clock as we count down to 10. And can't finish it. 1 second for the lob and doesn't take it. So a 41-39 lead that quarter, all in favour of Tim. Brings it back to a 2-point ball game.
19-12 in that term towards the Nets. And it was interesting, McKernan 17 in the first and then managing just 12 in each of the next quarters. So Laughlin, after showing nerves early on, he settled into the game and he's improved drastically on the offense.
So, be interesting to see McKernan with a bit more control over his 5 now. It was costly in the first couple of minutes of the third. Jordan out the back, can't finish. Now plenty of space here for the Bucks to finish. Hill from outside, long 2. Back out to a 4-point ball game. 6 in the first and 14 and 19 in the 2 preceding quarters after that from Tim. Can't hit the long 2. He'll get another crack at it, this time from outside. Just like,
I think that all went to plan for Laughlin there.
and Middleton hits back with one the other way.
He's happy about it too, the big man. Me or? No.
Still filthy about your earlier comments, I think.
I've expected more vocally from him, but he's warming into it. Maybe the second game we'll see the jokester appear.
KD. Back to a 3-point ball game.
Where do you see it going from here, Dice? That the lead is slender, and the Nets have been all over the Bucks since quarter time.
It's a very good point. There's been no real dominance since probably the first 3 or 4 minutes of that first, and I just think there's a bit of control here from Tim. This will be handy. Can't hit it. I think she's going to go down to the wire. I still think McKernan in this one.
Especially if he can make them.
Keep draining him from a long way out.
I think Giannis is off, so it's an important time for the Nets.
Durant makes the most of that. Nice intercept and steal.
Read it like a book. Did it.
Almost gave it away again. Durant with plenty of space. Can't finish. Prince.
Be careful what you wish for, Timmy. Great defense, unfortunate.
Trailing seconds of the shot clock.
Just over 2 minutes to go. 1 point lead to the Bucks.
This is what we wanted. It's good for the views.
It is. McKernan desperately wanting the big man Giannis back on the court.
Must be worth.
And the Nets have a chance to hit the lead.
Must be worth throwing a timeout just to stem the flow, I think.
And they have hit the lead. One of the more noticeable men on the court there, putting the Nets in front.
State of play. 2 minutes to go. 1 point the difference in favour of the Nets. So still a lot of water to go under the bridge, and KD named
see, personally, with a 1 point game 2 minutes to go, I would wait on naming the player of the game.
Well, I think the importance of
these last
Middleton landing a 3.
Oh, Nostradamus-like there, Dice.
It's almost like I saw it coming.
Player of the match here.
With the ball again.
Not saying he hasn't been impressive, but
can't make it sink. It's actually interesting that the game recognises anyone else as the player of the game except Giannis. So this to tie things up. Greens it nicely.
Calm under pressure.
143.
Contrasting to the earlier signs from Laughlin there. Nerves have disappeared.
Ball control, very important now. Middleton from outside again. Back-to-back threes from Milwaukee.
He's liking the corner. Can't really find any space here, the Nets. Very good defense, as he has shown all game, McKernan. Shot clock down to 3 is Durant. Don't tell me. Oh! And we're back level, Dice. A minute to go.
Boy. Stats are always handy. Milwaukee, 6 more threes. 15 points for Giannis. 56 for the Bucks. They lead by 2. Dinwiddie from outside.
It didn't look good out of the hand, did it? And now Giannis can go
wishful
down
attempt
and make it counts.
So 4 points, 38 seconds to play.
Will fouling come into it? No doubt it will.
Time enough for 2 looks. Well, there was.
He's going to have to put this up. Takes the 2. Surely fouling here, Dice.
Didn't like it at 24 seconds, but loved it at 15.
He's a crowd pleaser.
And sent a good shooter to the line as well.
If he makes this, and he has, so 4 points, 13 seconds. Bucks look, tentatively, I'm going to say this, like they're going to take a 1-0 lead, Dos.
I don't see McKernan fouling the 3-point shot. So just counting down the seconds now. Kyrie. So 1 point. Can't get the foul away. So 5 seconds, 3 points.
Well, who do you go to? Who do you go to, Dice? Who's Tim's go-to man, Ben Simmons? Not available, unfortunately.
It's got to be Kyrie.
Not KD. He's been the player of the match.
It's a very good point.
Looks like it
Named
might
that
be.
about 3 minutes ago.
It is KD. 3.
Kyrie.
Puts it up. Oh, we are going to overtime! Oh, my! Could we ask for anything more? Oh.
What just happened?
Well.
What just happened?
Amazing. Game 1. We're going to overtime. Kyrie Irving.
What just happened?
Oh, on the buzzer. It didn't look good out of the hand at all.
That was no chance.
Very favourable rings at home here for the Nets. And we're going again. First 2 of overtime. 62 apiece.
Good start
Giannis
from
steadies.
Oh, boy.
So it was 23 points to 21 in that last from Laughlin. So the game's definitely opened up.
I think the entire crowd had called that.
Well, out of the hand, it looked certain to miss.
KD can't hit the one on the way back.
I don't think Tim can complain about the ball bouncing out after what we just saw. Middleton, who's been very good for the Bucks, puts it back out to 4.
Wowee. OT in the first game.
Hopefully
It's
it's a
almost like
sign of
we're
things to
playing
come.
I hope not. I'm going to get home at some point. Good sink. Back to 1. Just opened the door, and Giannis just waltzed right through.
It's quite impressive, isn't he?
21, shooting at 90%. It's quite impressive.
I can see why Lachie Peters only used him. Simple 2 points, but they count all the same, don't they, Dice?
They don't draw pictures of them, but they do count on the scoreboard. 1:38 left in the first period of overtime. 1 point. The
Middleton
difference.
again, he's loved that spot all afternoon or evening. Let's put the nets in front.
Oh.
Defense, pretty good. Matthews.
That says waltz through the paint. Didn't get called for travel.
Oh, beautiful work from
Put
Lopez.
back
He's
from
been
Lopez.
He's been
Quiet since quarter time.
well. He did hit that 3 early in the first. So 3-point Bucks lead.
He got benched when McKernan decides to bench his starters all at once. Inside the last minute. 3-point ball game, Milwaukee's way.
Middleton. Oh, I think they've gone early on player of the match. I think Chris Middleton is putting a fair case forward. 6-point lead. I won't put anything out of the equation, though, after what happened in regular time.
Are you saying that the 2K experts don't know what they're talking about?
Experts is a very loose term.
Everything important at this point. It's the 2 from the free throw line.
McKernan will look to use as many seconds as possible, you'd think. We're down to 30. 4-point lead for the Bucks. They've had to do it the hard way. Can he make it 6? He can't.
Looked ugly, but tried to make it count. And Brooklyn to come back the other way.
Just really just tossing the ball around here.
Oh,
Extravagant.
nice finish from KD.
Back to 2.
Got a lot of work to do to get on that one, though.
My man of the match
Oh.
just toying with them here. 4.5 seconds. You'd suggest both shots would ice it, but I've said that before.
Nothing like the early crow.
4-point lead.
4 seconds, 4 points. So McKernan
There we
just
have
gave
it.
all the space possible. Let that shot fly and wins game 1.
Well, there we go. 13 points to 9 in overtime. So, really, a first quarter performance from Lachie McKernan and the Bucks has been the mainstay of that victory there. They only won by 4 at the end, but look, impressive comeback by the Nets. But nonetheless, McKernan has won the first one. I think JH, the Hall of Fame reporter, is going to chat to both boys as we head into game 2, and he'll probably have a chat to the crowd as well, I would have thought.
Here with Lachie McKernan, winner after game 1. Talk us through it, the emotions, plenty running through that one.
Yeah, it's pretty phenomenal. Probably a tie of the game. Didn't expect that. Thought they played pretty good, but yeah, 6 shots.
Absolutely, and the substitutions, you only found out about halfway through the game that they went on auto. Did that have a bit of an effect on the outcome?
It's probably not great from a grand finalist, to be honest. But yeah, it did have an effect, but not a huge one, I think. We smoothed it out for half.
And any tactical change to game 2?
Maybe a bit more young, so yeah.
Absolutely, sounds good. Thanks for that one, and I'll come across to Big Tim. Talk us through the emotions of that one, mate. Going down game 1, coming back heavy in game 2.
Yeah, obviously look for a big game 2. Tough to lose the first one, but we'll see how we go from here.
And how's the crowd? How's the crowd been? Have they added to the experience? Are you running high on emotions from them?
Oh, you throw up on that stuff, don't you? Big game players, so you make big game plays.
Perfect. All right, I'll throw back to you, boys. We'll get this game 2 started.
Absolutely, and whilst the boys are setting up for game 2, interesting to note, the Gold Coast Suns into 3rd on the AFL ladder. Nosebleed section for the big boys there, but well done to Matt Rowell, who's odds on to win the Brownlow.
Pretty handy when you can play the first 4 games at home.
It's a funny world we live in at the moment, Dot.
Sure is.
So, after what you've seen there, obviously the fast start from McKernan was a big decider in that last match. Do you expect that now Laughlin is eased into the game, the nerves have disappeared? He's
not going to get burned by the auto subs again.
No, you wouldn't think so. I think I'm backing Laughlin here. He impressed after quarter time.
Yeah, he certainly controlled a fair chunk of the play, and I mean that three late from Kyrie, just absolutely sensational.
So here we are.
Got a lot of work to do. Back in Milwaukee as well.
Lachie McKernan, though, defence, I'd probably say he was a bit stronger in defence. He definitely made not as many easy buckets for Tim.
Certainly ran down the shot clock multiple times, putting ample pressure on.
First point's always key, and Irving misses.
Oh, makes the second sink.
There we go.
All the Kyrie show in the first 20 seconds.
Well, after an impressive game one, Middleton.
I was going to say Middleton just picking up where he left off. But Matthews landing that one.
The game's really opened up now, isn't it? You know, they're over the nerves of the big crowd. The national anthem, they've stopped tingling and now they're just into their work.
Well, gone are the days of just playing in your lounge room.
Exactly.
You're in EFNL house at the moment.
Exactly, and Tim is a league legend. You would have thought would be more comfortable with that, but Lachie McKernan has won important EFNL Cups before, but none more important to this. And there's that defence once again. Polite applause from both sets of supporters as well. The People's Champion can't even keep his own fans on side. It's an interesting situation. That's better.
He's got him back on side now. And finishes at the other end with KD.
Do you reckon they get calluses from that? Holding onto the ring?
Not something I've ever had to worry about with
my
vertical
that's
work.
why I'm asking. Matthews again. Better start from the nets here. But
Lopez.
Commentator's curse.
He was good early in game one. And already with the steal in game two.
Giannis to the line. Just cut the tension with a knife here, Dice.
5-all early stages.
I don't know how that ended up in Dinwiddie's hands. Nonetheless.
Good to see Boronia Hawks Junior Footy Club jumping on the stream.
Yeah.
Supporting their boy, Lachie.
Good unity between the two clubs.
Had an eternity to think about that one, Giannis.
Well, the Nets could have raffled that rebound off there. And Durant puts one up and shows him how it's done. Early 6-point lead for the Nets. Bit of the opposite setting to the first quarter of the last game.
Matthews from outside, can't make it stick.
Could open it up to 8 points here, and he does. Durant starting hot as well after a player of the match award last game.
I know you weren't happy with KD last game, but this is a very hot start so far. Easy as you like from Giannis.
That's something I've been able to do a number of times on the basketball court. Leap from the free-throw line.
The free throw line even?
Yes. I meant 3 in the number 3.
Oh, right. 15-7.
So since quarter time in that last game.
And now the early panic timeout coming from the Bucks.
Since quarter time in that last game, Tim Laughlin has put up 80 points. To Milwaukee's 65. So it's been a 15-point positive for the Nets since quarter time of game one.
Once again, McKernan stuck with a handful of second stringers.
Do you split them? Would you try and split them to have a bit more of an even spread? Or
I think the impact of one or two players is such that you really need to. Oh,
and we're back to 2. In the blink of an eye. After we were just having a few nasty words about the second string of the Bucks.
Plenty of room for Chandler.
Doesn't make
Can't
it count.
sink it.
Just to tie it up. Even better. Oh. A settler. How would you define that?
It's exactly what Tim needed. Been giving a fair bit of space on D. Not as up in the face
As McKernan.
McKernan. Jordan sinks that one. Back out to 6. 18 seconds to play in the first. Ilyasova Green from outside and
He
back
has-
to a 3.
He has made a genuine impact since coming on. A genuine impact. Don't tell me. So there we go. Laughlin was out by a fair margin there halfway through the first term, but it's back to just 3 points at the break, 19-16.
Yeah, both players really had their chances to try and extend, and pretty even contest so far as we've come to expect, except for the first probably 4 minutes of that first term of game 1.
As we've mentioned a couple of times, I think the Nets really have to make the most of when Giannis and Middleton and Co are off the court.
We'll just keep
Although
harping back on the first 4 minutes of that first quarter. It's been the difference so far. So does that make
it won't matter, but once again, that defense of McKernan.
McKernan's gone back out on the court. No Giannis. Still no subs at the quarter. Corver. As soon as I said that,
Would you
the
say
sub goes out for Antetokounmpo to come back on court.
McKernan seems a bit stronger from 3-point range?
Yeah, just more comfortable finding space. But on the flip side, Nets have controlled the paint,
Absolutely.
particularly in game 1 and so far here in game 2. Helps when you got KD and DeAndre Jordan and
Who makes both these free
Finish.
throws. 4-point lead. Oh, well done.
block shot. Everything we saw what he did in game 1. That 3 to take it to OT.
Probably the highlight of the tournament thus far.
If you've just joined us, just scroll back a little bit. It's well worth having another look
If you
at.
don't want to know the score,
Yeah.
look away now. Uncharacteristic miss.
Just
from
did
Giannis.
enough on it, KD, to affect it. Harris with a hand in his face. Oh. Tim, the king of the ugly 3 so far.
Don't think Tim's going to care how they go in 1-0 down in the series.
Corver again. Can't make it sink.
$500 for both club and player on the line tonight. And there's that Bucks defense once again.
quietly, it's a pretty sweet deal, even if you don't get up
No.
tonight. $200 SportsCo Eastland voucher, a $50 Eastland Shopping Centre voucher, as well as an Eastland branded KB. Sharon, while you're out training.
An icon of the eastern suburbs, isn't it, Eastland?
Well, it's enormous now. It just gets
is.
bigger and bigger, and hundreds of retailers.
Yes. We thank them
including SportsCo.
Yeah, and we thank them for their ongoing support of the EFNL.
Particularly SportsCo, I should say.
Yes. Irving. Durant.
Plenty of room.
Dynamic duo combining there. 5-point lead Nets.
Gone to the well again with Corver.
You're right, he does create a lot of space, doesn't he? The Nets defense very narrow, packed in the paint there, sagging off.
Liked it off the boot with the early celebration too there, Corver.
Bit of Jonathan Brown.
Celebrated when it even went down the well. So back to a 2-point ball game. Brooklyn 28, Milwaukee 26.
Probably not who Tim wanted out there, I would have thought.
He's found a bit of space for Irving at the back. Kyrie, that was his first point since he sunk the first 3 of the game.
Been well held. Corver, who's been impressive. Well, good defense from the Nets.
Right idea, wrong execution on that one. And now 2 seconds.
That's an incorrect upcoming schedule.
Yeah, we probably don't need to worry about what else is coming up. Just couldn't get the shot away with 2 seconds on the shot clock.
It's good signs for Tim. His defense has probably let him down a little bit tonight, but
bulk change from the Bucks. Gets the starting 5 back on the court and immediately gives away 2.
Matthews, just if he can stop the 3-point run,
just had half a court to himself.
Scored a lot from 3-point in this second game as McKernan.
Interested to see the 3-point stats at half time. Just FYI before the boys click through. Kyrie.
Important ball by Allen. But impressive defense from the Bucks and could level it up.
14 seconds, Bucks ball.
Got the big man Lopez just asking for it.
Just floating around the arc.
Still free.
Bledsoe can't hit it.
So the Nets still lead by 3 at halftime, 32-29. What's your read on it, Dice? As we said, McKernan very strong from 3-point, but the Nets controlling the paint.
Consistency is key for Lachie McKernan. 17, roughly sort of 17 and 12 in the first couple of quarters of both games 1 and 2, but it's sort of that inside versus outside game at the moment.
Absolutely.
McKernan really strong from 3, whereas controlling the paint comfortably.
Crowd very quiet.
That's Tim.
A couple more differences between the two boys. Tim a still water man, Lachie sparkling.
Says
I'm all for the sparkling.
Your water choice says a lot about you, I think.
San Pellegrino too, not you just We're
going to get some halftime entertainment up for next year.
Can only assume this will only get bigger and better each year. So back into the second half, we didn't get a chance to see those stats. Kevin Durant though, 9 points to the half.
Shooting 4 of 6.
Here he is. Player of the match in game 1, controversially. Irving. And there we go. He started the first half.
It's like winning the Norm Smith
and the second
side.
Do you think he'll throw the trophy away, Nathan Buckley style?
Just pull it, yeah.
6-point lead for the Nets. 3-point lead for the Nets. Thought about it with Allen.
Didn't.
No need. Kyrie started hot.
Certainly has. 10 points. Giannis just found some space with the dummy.
Looks like another close one for us, Dice.
I love the unnecessary season stats provided by 2K. Mean nothing to this game going on right now.
And that's the beauty of playoffs, isn't it, Dice? You know, the regular season.
It all means nothing.
Exactly. Comes down to this. Lopez into the game.
Hasn't done a great deal since quarter one of game one.
But what a three
Could
it
he be
was.
the man in the premiership quarter, the championship quarter? Spencer Dinwiddie, a bit of a crowd favourite amongst the people here.
Well, Kyrie won't be after that pass. Giannis will probably put 2 in.
And nervous timeout as we go back to 1 point the difference, 39 Brooklyn, 38 Milwaukee.
Crowd look enthralled by this, Dice. Just edge of the seat
Edge
sort of
your
stuff.
seat kind of stuff.
To be fair to the Boronia boys, they were here. Yeah. Very early. Jordan. For 2.
Interesting call from McKernan yesterday, I thought. We saw the press conference. He was down at Tormore Reserve, deciding to go to actual training rather than training this 2K game.
I also enjoyed that he pretended he'd forgotten about the presser. An interesting mind game. But nonetheless, so far it's paid off.
Left him on the line for about 10 minutes before he finally decided to join in.
So we are tied up at 41 apiece. 2.5 minutes left in the third. Bucks lead the series 1-0. Physical from the Bucks.
Ilyasova back on the court. So just managing to maintain the lead at the moment. Love a good unnecessary foul. Just a cheeky steal attempt. And Tim's in the zone now. He knows he's got to win. Corver from outside. Oh.
Uncharacteristic miss from him today. And Jordan, who's been impressive since coming on. Important here that the Nets make the most of it. They haven't done that, and now the Bucks can level it up.
Oh. Can't make the one sink, but he'll still go to the line for 2. Even things up once again.
Important minute and a half coming up here, Dice.
Lopez has got room. Oh! And he's been doing goaltending. Well, that's a big call in the context of this third term.
DeAndre Jordan, he's having a hand in everything at the moment. Here he's the big man.
Again, as if on cue.
Here he is.
Giannis with space.
And the Bucks hit the lead.
Oh, as easy as you like for Dinwiddie. Net shooting at 66%. Bucks at 57. Oh,
He's quite talented. I've said it before. What a specimen.
he's good at this basketball thing.
Yeah. Chandler, on the other hand.
So fouling into the bonus.
Oh,
Milwaukee with still 40 seconds to play in the quarter. Giannis has 16.
he's missed both there.
And still 16.
Crucial. My man DeAndre Jordan there with the rebound as well. Chandler who missed
plenty
an
of
easy two
space.
before.
Oh.
Back out to 2 points. This one's going to go down to the wire again, Dice.
At 8 seconds, the difference between the game clock and the shot clock. You just know that that's what the gameplay commentary would have said. Plenty of space for Bledsoe, doesn't decide it. Middleton now greens it. And back to a 1-point ball game in favour of McKernan.
He's just reliable, isn't he,
play.
Middleton?
This is an important play. Dinwiddie.
Oh.
Can't finish. Oh!
1 point lead for the Bucks. If Lachie McKernan can hold on to this, he'll have taken it out 2-0. A bit of trash. A bit of trash. I like it.
McKernan just reminding Tim.
And he's straight to the point, isn't he? He doesn't go around corners, does he? Straight up and down. 18 points to 22 that quarter. The Bucks won.
Can't sink it. This will even things up. 51 apiece.
Important time for the Nets with the second string Bucks out on the court, Dice.
I think you've really got to make the most of it. Any time that Giannis isn't on the court. You'd almost want to be defending a lead into the last couple of minutes. Prince inside. Dinwiddie.
Spencer.
Oh, can't make it stick. Almost the steal. Two-point ball game. Who are you calling from here? What?
My heart says the Nets because I'd like Game 3 from a spectacle point of view, but
Just the commentator's preference.
exactly. But the Bucks seem to
good
be
for
on
content.
top here, and they've put out to a 4-point lead. Giannis is about to come on.
Nervous timeout from Tim.
Not looking good for the Nets, and it's that defense, isn't it? You know, Tim was the highest scorer in the tournament, and he's still scoring relatively well, but he's had to work for every single point.
I'd like to send Josh Hudson courtside, but I'm worried with the Nets down. Might be controllers flying.
Exactly. Although,
Low. $55-53.
Matthews, this is big. It's fallen out. Chance for the Nets to level it up here. Dinwiddie making room for Irving. No good.
Support on the stream was for Tim early, but the McKernan Marauders have rallied late.
They have.
And the Boronia people just
Would
jumping
you
on
say
the
the
stream left, right, and centre.
The fair weather Boronia fans just coming out.
There's obviously a group
Much
text.
like-
There was obviously a group text going around. They now know McKernan's up.
Much like Richmond supporters post 2017.
Just jumping back on the ship.
Oh, and that's the sort of stuff that'll hurt the Nets. Although,
Inclusive
made
of a
up
couple
for
of
it.
the coaching staff too.
oh, massive from Chris Middleton.
This will hurt.
Straight up the other end. Giannis. Lopez is free at the top, ignores him,
Oh,
and rightfully so. 6-point lead.
6-point ball game. Half a quarter to play. go home now for Tim. Not that he didn't already know that.
Lachie did remind him of it. It's an easy two.
Is it Dinwiddie again? $2:16 on the clock. Bucks 59.
And Bango the Buck really going for it there.
I thought KD was stiff.
Yeah, well, again, you did mention that Giannis is, it's actually a requirement of 2K to give him the player of the match at least 2 out of every 3 games. So,
I think that's even when Milwaukee aren't playing.
yes, well, but the way he's just strode to the basket there, you can't argue
Probably
with
fair. 20 points.
it. 20 points in 13 minutes. Kyrie now. They need something special here, the Nets. Is Allen the man you want the ball in the hands of? Not necessarily.
Need something big on this play.
Impressive defense once again. He's going to go to the line. He's been good from the line, though, Jared Allen. That's 9 points tonight.
Hasn't missed from the free throw line.
Giannis now, 4-point lead for his Bucks, who are one hand on the SportsCo Eastland 2K trophy.
Oh,
But almost on
commentator's
cue.
nervous.
Levert. Interesting. KD.
KD.
Yes. He's made a habit of clutch threes. We're back to 1 point.
We asked for these to go down to the wire.
They have
and
done.
they've certainly done just that.
Oh, interesting.
No and one.
KD probably frustrated by the lack of player of the match accolade. Giannis makes them both. 3-point margin. 12 points to 10 this quarter, the Bucks.
Still plenty of time. Just got to make every possession count from here. Plenty of room for Levert and Sing
And
said.
we are tied up. Evenly matched teams. Deep exhale from McKernan.
Bledsoe, plenty of room. And sinks one back the other way. So back out to a 3-point ball game.
Just can't seem to...
Locks down inside, but then there's always...
Exactly. I
With
just
the
couldn't get
Bucks,
the words
there's
out of my
just
mouth. Kyrie.
Kyrie, room enough and good enough.
40 seconds, 1 point. Lopez. Pulls up, jumper! Salt in the wound.
Could have sat there for another 12 seconds. Or almost a turnover. Nets able to save it. Durant, pull-up jumper.
1 point.
1 point, 21 seconds.
Shot clock irrelevant, Dice. Here we go. He's done it before, though, Tim, with the clutch 3-pointer, so
Certainly has.
McKernan will have to be on his game. And he was.
Lopez hits both.
Sip of sparkling water for McKernan. A sip of still for Laughlin.
This is a lot about the character, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it?
What does your water choice say about you?
3 points.
18 seconds, 3 points. Oh.
Irving. Spencer.
Dinwiddie.
Spencer. Oh. That could be game. That could be
the ball
championship. I think the Boronia
Gonna
Hawks,
ice it here.
$500 coming their way.
Matthews to finish
There it is.
That'll do it. 70-67 in game 2. And the Hawks are victorious.
Well. JH is down there courtside. The Knox fans are frustrated. We're going to chat to both boys very shortly. Tim Laughlin, earlier in the week I spoke to a couple of blokes who will remain nameless, but they said there is no way this man will lose. And he played well tonight, but Lachie McKernan, as we said, experience counts. We both thought it was going to go to game 3.
Even after copping a barrage on social media, just was able to pull through. Everything going against him.
So we're going to start with Tim Laughlin.
Quietly, interesting call to interview Wesley Matthews.
Well, those 6 points were important in the first quarter. Anyway, JH, Hall of Fame reporter, is down there with league legend and runner-up Tim Laughlin.
League legend, runner-up, unfortunately, mate. Take us through the emotions coming up second best tonight, unfortunately.
Heartbreak, mate. Genuine heartbreak.
That's all you got to say. Just heartbroken. Don't want to elaborate on that. Bit shocked. I think I'm a bit shocked as well, to be honest with you. You were my tip at the start. Take us through the 3-2 zone tactic. Do you reckon that might have worked against you a little bit, leaving Lachie and the Bucks open for a lot of threes?
He did hit a few threes there, yeah. Couldn't defend Giannis one-on-one though, so it's what I had to do.
Absolutely. Totally understand that, mate. But yeah, here's your up in the EFNL SportsCo Eastland 2K tournament. There's your vouchers and your footy. So hopefully we'll see you back next year. Absolutely. Thanks very much.
Thanks, mate.
Great work, JH. He's going to grab the victor pretty shortly. Giannis, 22 points.
How's Middleton?
Middleton?
Didn't miss a shot all night.
Well, I've liked him.
3 from 3
I've
from
liked him all game.
inside, 2 from 2 from
He's
outside.
personally my finals MVP. But anyway, we're going to
Neither did Lopez.
jump down to Lachie McKernan with JH. You know, he's been on the dais before, but how important is this one to him?
Here with Lachie McKernan. Congratulations, mate. $500 to yourself, $500 to the club. How are you feeling?
Yeah, probably shocked as well. I thought I was going to lose, so yeah, a bit surprised. But the AFL, premiership a few years ago, I didn't think I'd be able to top it, but here it is on the dais, as they've said. Just something you look back and tell your kids about one day,
So you reckon that comes ahead of your premiership? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, they'd probably be neck and neck. It's just a lot of hard work's gone into this this whole tournament, so it's right up there with the premiership.
Lots of hours on the PlayStation, I'm sure. Congratulations, mate. Lachie McKernan of the Boronia Hawks, winner of the EFNL 2K SportsCo tournament. There's your vouchers and your footy.
Thanks.
Perfect.
Yeah, and
we'll back to the boys for some last-minute analysis.
A well-deserved round of applause there for Lachie McKernan. Self-deprecating slightly there. I think that's a bit of a lie. I think he was quietly confident, but nonetheless.
Somewhat understated. I think that was just a more of a tactic than anything else.
And it worked. We did mention that his dry wit and steely resolve would come and pay dividends, and it has. 2-0 straight sets and $500 in his pocket and $500 to the Boronia Hawks, who will be they'll be going to bed pretty comfortable on a Sunday night now.
And plenty of support, as we said on the stream. I think I saw Matty Clark. There was also Craig McKenzie. A couple of the coaches from the Boronia Footy Club were getting involved. The junior club there supporting him. Probably one of the drivers around the 2K tournament right from the beginning. The Boronia Hawks, they've been on their man the whole way through, and just fitting that he takes the crown in the end.
Absolutely, and we mentioned earlier that there were some unnamed Knox faithful that got stuck into Lachie overnight, and we'd like to think that they would, send a message of congratulations to the big man. He stood up in the face of adversity, and did it so well. We're going to sign off, guys. It's been a fantastic SportsCo Eastland eSports tournament. 64 competitors. There was so much interest. The crowd, as you said, they've got on board. LM Media, to set up this great live stream from EFNL House tonight. It's been a fantastic tournament. What was once an idea in a boardroom has now come to life.
It's amazing how you can just think of things off the top of your head and all of a sudden they come to fruition. Obviously, trying to stay engaged across social media platforms and with players, and this has certainly been one of the ways that we've tried to do that as a football association, obviously with no football going on at the moment, but we hope you've enjoyed every second of it. We certainly have, watching the scores roll through, and particularly in these last couple of weeks, watching games live and just seeing how the talent is across the eastern suburbs.
Absolutely. Once again, thanks to LM Media and all the players who partake. And then, obviously, if we do something like this in the future, we'd love to see some netballers or female footballers get involved. We'd love to see that happen. And, you never know what could happen in the near future. Well done to Hall of Fame reporter JH as well. Always brilliant down there and, working wonders with both fake mics and real mics.
It's good to see that he had the real mic turned on. It's always a good start.
It's a great start, isn't it? So, once again, Lachie McKernan of the Boronia Hawks Football Netball Club is our SportsCo Eastland eSports 2K champion. $500 for him, $500 for his club, and he's got an Eastland footy and some vouchers coming his way again. I'm Matt Fodia, he's Dyson Baker, and we're signing off.